Security and Investigation Services. Chairman, this bill is also a sunset extension bill. It addresses issues discussed during the program's sunset review hearing, which you all participated in. Specifically, the bill would extend the Bureau's administrative authority over the 6 practice acts under its purview by 4 years to 2029. These include the acts regulating locksmiths, Collateral Recovery Act, the Private Investigators Act, Proprietary Security Services Act, Private Security Services Act, and the Alarm Company Act. Here with me is Len Jensen, the Bureau Chief for the Bureau of Security and Investigative Services, for technical questions if you have them, and Charles Wright, a consultant for the San Manuel Band of Mission Indians, as a primary witness in support.
Great, you have 2 minutes each.
Hi, my name is Lynn Jensen. I'm the Chief of the Bureau of Security and Investigative Services, and I am here to answer any technical questions you may have on the bill. Thank you.
Chairman and members, Charles Wright on behalf of the San Manuel Band of Mission Indians. SB1454 would clarify California tribes' ability to obtain private security-related registrations and licenses for off-reservation activities, the same as any other non-tribal entity. The Bureau of Security and Investigative Services regulates security personnel through Proprietary Security Services Act and the Private Security Act. Currently, neither act contemplates nor considers tribal entities. The application process for proprietary private security employers, private patrol operators, and baton and firearms training facilities are structured to accommodate natural persons and business entities only. Eligible applicants include individuals, firms, companies, partnerships, corporations, organizations, and associations, but not tribes. And the exemptions for government agencies, such as cities and counties, do not include tribal governments either. Because of this omission, BSIS is unable to appropriately issue a registration or license to tribal entities for security-related activity, off-reservation, or trust lands. This omission has created issues. Many tribes are forced to conduct some operations off tribal land because there's not enough room on their reservation and trust land. At the same time, they cannot obtain appropriate security licensing from the state because there's literally no box for them to check on the relevant applications. Tribes are sovereign governments and have rights of self-governance that the current applicant categories do not have. The current applicant categories do not capture the governmental nature of tribes or their right of self-governance. Simply put, tribes do not fit into any of the current application boxes. This bill would clarify that tribes may obtain licensing appropriate for their off-reservation activity like other non-tribal entities. We strongly support SB 1454. Thank you, Mr. Chair and members.
Thank you very much. Any additional witnesses in support of the bill?
Members of the committee, Chairman, Vice Chair, Paula Treat on behalf of the Calusa, Tejon, and Pechanga reservations in support.
Thank you.
Good morning, Trent Smith on behalf of the California Alarm Association in support.
Thank you. Any primary witnesses in opposition to the bill? Seeing none, we got a motion. We got a couple seconds. Any primary witnesses? Any primary witness in opposition or add-on in opposition? Primary witness in opposition, come on up. You come on up to the dais. You have 2 minutes. 2 minutes each, wherever you want. Yeah, this room. Please.
Press the white button in front of you there. Nope.
Oh, this
Yep,
one.
there you go.
Hi, I feel like a little kid at the Thanksgiving table here. My name is Francie Kohler. I'm a past president of the California Association of Licensed Investigators and the current legislative chair, or the government affairs chair. I just want to say that Cali does support provisions that enhance the Private Investigator Act, but we're here today to oppose the insertion of section, it is 7524, I believe, and it as being overly broad and in some cases unenforceable. Long-term client relationships, specifically civil and criminal attorneys, insurance companies, and business relationships are problematic for us because we have ongoing cases with them. Some criminal cases are appointed by the court or appointed by a court-appointed panel, and that is, there's no contracts allowed with that, with those kind of cases. Cases involving attorneys and insurance companies are also prohibited from providing reports for the Bureau to review in case there's a complaint, so that would be unenforceable. It's work product. So I ask for your vote to oppose the insertion of Section 7524. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your time. My name is Frank Huntington. I'm proud to be the current president of CALI, the California Association of Licensed Investigators. We are the largest private investigative association in the world. We have a fantastic relationship with the Bureau, with Chief Andrus, which we are very appreciative of, and we overall support SB 1454. Thank you, Senator Ashby. However, this one section, 7524, was just inserted about 2 weeks ago. I had one board member, when he heard about it, said it's like taking a sledgehammer to a grain of rice. We absolutely, matter of fact, I can say that CALI and our profession are more upset at illegitimate investigators and people that take advantage of the consumer than perhaps even the Bureau. CALI provides training twice a year to newly licensed investigators, and a good part of that training that actually Ms. Kaler puts on is ethics. We want to work with the Bureau to straighten this out. We want to have consumer protections. We just think that 7524, that one particular section, is way overly broad, and we look forward to working with the senator and her staff to clean that up to everybody's satisfaction, hopefully. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Any additional witnesses in opposition to the bill? Seeing none, bring it back to colleagues for questions or comments. Yes, sir. Assemblymember Lowe.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. And I think, just as a statement, the committee would typically give great deference to the respective chairs of the Senate and the Assembly in working through many of these different issues with respect to sunset and a number of substantive issues. But perhaps those, I don't know if the appropriate staff persons or maybe the author presenting before us might be able to address the issue at hand in opposition, but also perhaps a willingness to further work on this should the sunset bill move forward as well.
Sure. A couple things. First of all, you know, these B&P bills are a work in progress all the way across the finish line. And as you heard, both of the lead witnesses in opposition here are probably pretty happy with most of the bill and have a couple concerns with some pieces. The piece that they're referring to, which we can certainly have the Bureau Chief address more specifically if you want some detail, is really about how you navigate a relationship that went south. And so the recommendation is on the front end to have some form of a scope of work, a contract to then lean back on. Not unusual for all of our various business and professions for us to help prevent having to mitigate things on the back end by making them clear on the front end. That said, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yes, thank you, Chair. We have discussed this issue with the PIs numerous times over the years. We have suggested that they run their own bill on this, and when they several years went past and they did not do it, we stepped forward, and we are happy to work with the author and give technical assistance wherever possible.
May I just as a follow-up then to, as I heard about the willingness and acknowledging that the sunset is substantive and moving through the process, but of course the willingness to acknowledge the potential concern, understanding the historical context from the Bureau itself and asking licensed investigators to run their own bill. But given that the substance of this is in the formation of the sunset bill, the author is willing to continually work with.
Yes, of course, we'll continue working. But I think her point was not that we asked them to do their own bill now. I think her point was for many years they had suggested that they do their own bill, and in the absence of them doing their own bill, it has been added to the sunset bill because it was such a rose to the top for the Bureau as a particular issue that needed to be addressed. But working on the details of how that unfolds is something we'll absolutely continue working with these individuals on.
Thank you very much, Senator.
Thank you. Assemblymember, any additional questions or comments? Chair, would you like to close?
Urge and I vote. Thank you for your time.
Appreciate it. I'm still debating internally whether or not a grain of rice could handle a pound from a sledgehammer. I think it depends on how dry that grain of rice is. It is important that we continue supporting the work of the Bureau and ensure that the security and investigation professions are well regulated. While I know there are a few outstanding items to tweak before this reaches the governor's desk, like was discussed, I am confident that our joint committee staffs will continue to work with affected stakeholders to tweak language as and if necessary, and I'm happy to support the bill today. Madam Secretary, please. we have a motion in a second? We do. We do. That's fantastic. Could I please call the vote?
On SB 1454 Ashby, the motion is due pass to the Committee on Appropriations. Berman?
Aye.
Berman, aye. Flora? Flora, aye. Alanis? Baines? Baines, aye. Juan Carrillo? Juan Carrillo, aye. Chen? Dixon? Grayson? Irwin? Irwin, aye. Jackson? Lowe? Lowe, aye. Lowenthal? McKinner? Huen? Huen, aye. Pellerin? Pellerin, aye. Sanchez? Soria? Soria, aye. Zipper? Zipper, aye.
That bill is out. We'll leave it open for absent colleagues. Let's keep it rolling.
All right, 1455. This is